Hello, this Hello everybody. Welcome to the Surfbot Studio Thursday stream. My name is Chateau Jaune. I've been late to the streams. Last week was sort of a stream, but more of like a pre-record. Well, not last week. Sorry, the one before. Last week I was on vacation. Sorry about that. I was getting a tan, as you can see. The week before that was sort of a pre-recorded Let's Play with me and Evax. We played a bunch. We played a complete run actually. And we won. We won that run. Was not expecting to win it, honestly, but we did anyways. And we're back now. We're back today with another stream, and it is going to be a Mirador stream. And I'm going to open the chat because for some reason the chat didn't show up on this screen. Give me a quick second here. There we go. Damn, I'm a good singer. Hello, Luca. Wow, there's lots of people in the YouTube chat. Hello, Tyler. Hello, Propel Jesus. Hello, Mr. Snake. Hello, Faye8. Hello, Laduzzi. Hello, Joseph R. Hello, Timotheus, Ben Striker, Adam, The Simple Guy. Who else did I miss? Did I miss Mr. Snake? No, I didn't. Hello, Vinicius. Hello, Recognizable. How's it going? What do you mean, where did I go? I'm right here. Hello, TZ Cyan. Hello, George Studios. Twitch gang, rise up. So we're streaming both on YouTube and on Twitch. You can watch whichever one you like best. Either way, it is Surfbot Studio. So youtube.com/Surfbot Studio, and then you click on the live video, or twitch.tv/Surfbot Studio. Hello, Nikoro. Hello, Russery. So today, I am going to be playing against your Sentinels because in the latest update we released a brand new feature which is really awesome, where every single Sentinel now has a code. It's called a GUID. You can just call it a code. I'm going to call it a code because it's easier to say than GUID. So every Sentinel, even ones that you've created before this update, has a code, and you can share this code with your friends or with anyone. And if you input that code in the game, I'll show you how you can skirmish that Sentinel. So this is something you guys asked us for quite a while. You said, hey, I want to be able to play against a specific Sentinel to try it out. Obviously, since you could just play it over and over and over again, it doesn't count towards wins or loss. It doesn't give you loot or whatever. It's not like an official run, but it's a really fun way for you to test out your friend Sentinels, for you to send out your code to people and have them test it out. And it's going to be a good opportunity for us to start creating maybe some contests with it, such as like the best Sentinel with the axe, or the best Sentinel that doesn't use a certain spell, or the best Sentinel with this specific circuit, stuff like that. If you guys have any other ideas, totally open to them. Hop into the Discord, discord.gg/Mirador. Our Discord is so easy to join because it's such a simple link. Discord.gg/Mirador. Super easy. So join the Discord. Let me know if you have like any ideas or suggestions for that. And yeah, that's what it's going to be today. I'm going to hop into the game. I'm going to play a couple of your Sentinels. I don't know how long we're going to stream. Maybe until like 3:30 p.m., 3 or 4 p.m. or something like that. So maybe like an hour and a half. And I'm going to play some of your Sentinels, and then we're going to do a giveaway. I've got 2 Steam keys for Mirador to give out. So if you already own Mirador, maybe you can give it to a friend, have them play with you. If you don't own Mirador, yay, then you'll own Mirador. As long as you don't sell them on some black market website. That would make me real sad. Please don't do that. Are you the work of an enemy stand? I'm not sure I get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Hi, Donald Wretched. Hello, Jordan M. Where did you go on vacation? I didn't. I stayed at home and I did some renovations in my house because my dad came over to my house and I started, we started working and stuff. It's a JoJo reference. What's? Oof, I probably shouldn't ask that, but what's JoJo? What's JoJo? Am I too old for JoJo? Oh, it's an anime thing? Okay. I'm not an anime boy. I don't watch anime much. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I love you guys. I think anime is chill. I've watched Cowboy Bebop. That was kind of fun. I watched a couple of episodes. Anime never hooked me, didn't work for me. Didn't work out. Okay, so I'm booting up the game. Keep in mind, there might be some lag spikes. I am playing a different build that we are specifically testing out for performance right now, because one of the things we're working on right now, trying to demystify, trying to figure out what the heck is going on, is that some people, a small percentage of people that have really good computers, we think that's the common denominator, get lag spikes sometimes when the boss casts a spell. It's not funny, but what's funny is that it seems to not happen on like medium tier like systems, so like the computer that's over there never gets a lag spike, but the computer that I used to stream, which is like super powerful, it's like it's so powerful, it's got lights inside. A computer is good when it's got like red and blue and purple lights and like you can see the wires and stuff. It's that kind of computer, and it gets the lag spike sometimes. So if I get the lag spikes here, that's why. But we're working on it. That's the good news, is that we're working on it. We know it's happening and we're working on it. I'm gonna just fix everything here real quick. Boom. I'm gonna probably resize my, hey, hello. Oh, I've got the wrong, there it is. Okay. I'm gonna actually, should I reset? No, I'm gonna leave it like that, I think. I'm gonna leave it big. I am gonna, however, turn on the music because I did turn that off. So something, another new thing is that everything is clickable now, which is awesome. So now you can like go into the tabs and everything. I think I'm gonna disable reflections. Evax told me to disable reflection quality. It's not gonna look as good, but supposedly it helps a lot with the performance. Oh, also, unless you have like some crazy killer machine with like 6 graphic cards and like a swimming pool cooling the insides and whatnot, don't set vertical sync to double. Like don't do that. Don't do that. You're definitely gonna lag if you do that, unless you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, so now, like I said, if you go into your oh yeah, we also added some more snow and stuff. It looks more wintry. Oh, there's a training ground as well now where you can test out your stuff. If you head into your Sentinel workshop, hello Dragon Killer. Every Sentinel of yours, ooh, this one, my Insidious Cleric, has some loot. Every single Sentinel, if you inspect it, you go into it, it's got this GUID here. It's this long chain of characters, but lucky for you, you can click it and you can do Control-C. So now you can paste it to your friend or whatever. Let's grab the loot. I don't know, what am I gonna get from Insidious Cleric? You've been out there fighting. Insidious Cleric looks really cool and is actually a pretty good Sentinel. It's the Sentinel we made in the Let's Play video on YouTube. You can watch it. We have a video coming out soon, by the way, on YouTube. Ooh, I got Flash Compass. Okay, that's pretty cool, actually. 2017 rating, 9 wins, 6 losses? Really? I'm surprised. You guys are good. Okay, so now you've got that GUID. If a friend sends you that GUID and you want to test out their Sentinel, they send you that code, you can head over here to that cross-pod dog. That dog that's just chilling up there. He's like, all like, yo, what's up? I'm the big man here, the big dog in the Sentinel. You can walk up, bark at him. He's going to bark back, and boom, you've got this window that you can paste a Sentinel code in it. So, somebody here, give me a Sentinel code. What are we giving away? We're giving away 2 copies of Mirador, which if you don't want to wait for the giveaway, you can also buy it on Steam, by the way. It's pretty affordable. High Fire 90001997. Anybody's got a Sentinel code for me? If I don't get one, I'll just hop into a run. Boo-doo, 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 boo. Boo-doo, you guys are opening up Mirador. Okay, open up your games. Get me those codes. Sending me your hardest sounds good. I'm down with that. I am totally down. Something else that's cool is that if you're in a party, which I am currently not, actually, hold on a second here. We're going to fix this around a little bit. Since we've been streaming a lot of Mirador, we're going to fix this. So come here. Come here, Shutter Zone. All right, we're going to do it that way. Like this. That way we don't hide like the UI. We're also going to, I don't want to hide that. Hold on a sec. Hold up. It is under... I'm just going to really quickly boot up Photoshop. You guys don't mind me booting up Photoshop real quick, do you? Do you? Nah. It's all good, Shutter Zone. You do you. You do you. All right. Thank you. Thank you, self. Stream overlay Mirador. Stream overlay Mirador. We're just going to open that up in Photoshop. We're going to make this look good once and for all. Every time we stream, we're like struggling with where the camera is going to go and stuff. Oh, I've got a couple of codes on Twitch. Okay. I'll pick those up in a second. Let me just get rid of that thing at the top left. Give us time to gather numbers. You can copy them, by the way. Don't be typing them by hand. That takes forever. Just copy them because you can do that now. Go ahead and do that. And then we're going to save it. Yay. Oh, oof. It still says Shutter Zone. Why does it say Shutter Zone? Because of this. Okay, there we go. All right. Back to the game. So I'm going to grab the first one that was posted. Eternal Doom just posted a Sentinel. Let's see who that is. Space gave me code. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it here. And here we go. Let's do it. You do Control C to copy and Control V to paste. We are in Montreal, not Daxus. The giveaway, Jamar, is going to be 2 copies of Mirador. So 2 different people are going to get a different copy. Hi, Crass. I'm sorry I missed your question. This is called Mirador. You can check under our stream. There's a Mirador button. You can click it. Okay, off to a bad start. That's a Longsword Sentinel created by Eternal Doom. So he gave me his code? What? Hold on a second. Did you expect that would happen, Eternal Doom, or did I just find like a weird bug that we've never seen before while streaming? We are in Montreal. Can I come visit? You can absolutely come visit. Yes, actually, you can. Did you? Was that on purpose, Eternal Doom? Did you like figure out an exploit that makes the player... It's a bug? Okay. I think it has to do with the boomerang, because it only happened when my boomerang like got stuck right inside of... What the heck? Eternal Doom. Everything was working fine before the stream. Hold on a second. Maybe it's my controller. I'm gonna try. Hold on. No. No. It might be because of the dev build, actually. That's not crazy what you're saying. Alright. See, I unplugged my keyboard and mouse, and now everything is like keyboard and mouse. You can absolutely visit. Yeah, if you guys are in Montreal, you want to come say hello, we can make that happen. But you got to be quick, because we're actually moving to a new studio soon. So you got to be quick. Send us an email, contact@sirpodstudio.com. Alright, I think it was my controller. Yeah, I think it was my controller. Oof, no. That is the superior searing wall. Oh my god, do you have nothing but superior... What the heck? Alright, I think what we're going to do here is not play on the development build. Everything was working fine. Everything was working fine before I started the stream. And of course, the moment I started the stream, everything breaks. Hold up. I'm also texting Mirador, Evax at the same time. Let me get the... Has anyone ever seen this happen before? Because this is new to me. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm playing on the same live version you guys are. The development build shouldn't have caused any issues, but I guess we're not gonna risk it. We're gonna do it that way instead. I'm gonna uninstall Mirador, install the install the actual Steam version. Oh, hold on a second. Maybe they're testing stuff out on the servers, but it shouldn't affect the live servers. Let me catch up on the chat while it's reinstalling. I can't see because I'm trying to get my code. Breaking the game already. This hasn't happened before. It hasn't happened to me either. Of course it has to happen while I'm streaming. Yep. Always happens is working perfectly until you show the project to the professor. Exactly. Wow. Is the giveaway going to just be random picking, or will there be a quick challenge? It'll be a random person. You'll have to be on the Discord. We'll pick a random person that types in a Discord channel. And how long are you moving studios? And if you can tell where. No, we're staying in Montreal. We are staying in Montreal. Evax. I'm trying to get an answer from our QA. Is it okay tomorrow? I won't be here tomorrow. I think just send us a message on an email, contact@surpotstudio.com, and we'll work it out. Wait, so how do we apply for the giveaway? Just sit tight. Just sit tight. I'll tell you when the giveaway time starts. Hello, Craft Time. Murphy's Law. How's the giveaway gonna work? Be patient. Sit tight. As long as you're here on the stream, you'll have an opportunity. And the stream's not gonna go on for super long, so you'll be fine. It won't be too long. I'm just waiting for Mirador to re-download. Hold up, I'll be right back. Reinstalling right now. Alright, I've got the professional here. He got the N boots called New Balance. We broke the game chat. No, apparently it's something I didn't know about. It's a bug that we only have here in the studio. That's why you guys have never seen it before.
Or if you miss internet.
If you
disconnect from internet.
You think somebody's like downloading stuff right now and it's messing with my connection?
Could be.
Gonna have to find out who it is. Email Bergson. This game is such a great idea. Thank you so much. It's available on Steam right now if you're interested. Give me a year or so and I'll try to visit. Okay. Mirador from the description I read it sounds pretty cool. Thank you, Spreedos. I think it is pretty cool. I'm about to play it right now, so you'll be able to take a look. I'm getting this strange. Of course, all the bugs show up. Only happen when I'm streaming. I've been recording a video all week long. I had no issues whatsoever. I start streaming, I get the nastiest bug 3 times in a row. All right, I'm gonna try it again. So somebody in the chat called Eternal Doom gave me the code to his Sentinel, and I'm gonna try it out.
No, not Eternal Doom.
Eternal Doom. Why? Are his Sentinels really strong?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Let's hope it does it 3 times in a row. It did the bug for me. Alright. Is this like your hardest Sentinel? Eternal Doom? Oof, the Fierce King. Usually it happens about at the 3rd attack, so like right about now. Ugh! Oh! I don't have dashes anymore. Eternal Doom. Is this like a superior circuit?
King. It's an awesome boss.
That's definitely a superior circuit though, because he's using lots of high tier. Oh! Oh, I got him twice. Okay, it doesn't seem to be happening anymore. I just fresh reinstalled the game. I don't know if that actually fixed it. All right. And you have to keep in mind, when you're skirmishing somebody's Sentinel, it's easier than meeting them in a real run because you have 3 healing potions. And in a run, you're probably not going to have that many potions to spend on a single Sentinel. Or at least you won't want to. Oh no, now I'm stuck in a circle with him. No! Oh, it just happened. What the heck? What is that? What is that? That's what you're saying it is? Only us here in the studio have this bug?
The internet here is not really good. So
why does it only happen when I'm streaming? Maybe, do you think it has to do with the Sentinel codes? What if I go into a regular run?
no, it doesn't matter.
Because I was recording a video for like all week long, all day long today, and it didn't happen.
I don't know what to say.
That's been happening for me a few weeks ago. It's just internet connection.
Yeah.
It probably is internet connection. Is somebody in the studio downloading stuff? Maybe hold on. Maybe I'm like updating Overwatch or something. No, I'm not. My Battle.net is not even open. Can you?
Download? No?
What?
Nothing on Steam?
No, it's done. I was just reinstalling Mirador to see if it would fix the issue. Can you maybe hold on? Maybe
Just gotta make sure.
Yeah, like maybe check every single unoccupied computer, make sure they're all shut down, and then maybe check on everything that they're not like downloading Apex Legends or something
Let me check.
while we're streaming. Yeah, I think something's up with our internet here. I'm gonna even close Dropbox. We're gonna close everything real quick. We've been trying to get a setup. We're a pretty small indie studio, so we don't have like a professional IT team. Basically, the IT people are like me and Evax. You know, we just figure it out as we go, and this issue with the internet connection during the streams has been kind of something we've been trying to fix for a while, but it's kind of tricky, you know, with routers and stuff and like setting up routers and everything. And yeah, so I think that's what's happening right now. Still though, what was your name? Eternal Doom, your Sentinel kind of destroyed me. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna give it another try. I don't think I can beat it. Well, I can probably beat it if I practice enough. What is the giveaway? We're giving away 2 copies of this game, of Mirador. Sorry for the freezes, like I said. There's something wrong with our internet today. Come on. So this is a longsword Sentinel. It looks pretty cool, by the way, Eternal Doom. I really like how it looks. Oh no! Yeah, it's definitely the internet. It is definitely the internet. Oof. Okay, this is gonna be a little problem. It sucks that it's happening now as I'm streaming because it was not happening all day long. You guys can imagine that I'm getting nervous now, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Hold up. We'll send out a message across the studio at everyone. Please make sure you don't have stuff downloading in the background. The stream is well, it's not even affecting the stream. It's only affecting the game. I think I might switch to another computer. I might get out of the media room. It might be the switch in the media room that we're using. Or maybe we can I can use a local build. You can download the database locally. Huh. This is like my house fighting for connection speed. Yeah, but it shouldn't be happening. It wasn't happening all day long, and now it's happening. That's just my luck. That's my luck. I'm gonna try with a regular run. It happened again, Evex. I'm gonna try with a regular run.
Okay.
See what happens. It's fine. The game looks good. Stuff happens. Thank you, man. It's got nothing to do with the game. It's got to do with like our connection here in the studio. But my stream's going fine. So I get a feeling maybe it doesn't have to do with like actual connection speed. You know what I mean? It feels like it's got to do with the connection because the character just freezes for a second and then freezes out. You feel like there's internet lag. Yeah.
Yeah, it's internet lag for sure. That's the issue. Okay.
Why wasn't it happening earlier today? Like
That's,
1 hour before the stream.
Usually, I asked them to shut down the stream just to see.
Oh, you asked people to stop or whatever.
Yeah.
What were they doing?
Watching the stream, so.
Oh, I asked everybody to watch the stream, so now everybody had the stream open.
Could be this.
Could be. Could be. Okay, let's try a regular run. Okay, if it keeps happening, what I'm gonna try, okay? What I'm gonna try is turning off the stream. I'm gonna shut down the stream for like 5 minutes, and I'm gonna test it without the stream running. At least we'll be able to like troubleshoot what's going on. You know what I mean? Okay, the Lugubrious Pessimist by 225. Let's see if your Sentinel makes our game crash too. So the idea here in Mirador, for those of you who are new, is that the first Sentinels you encounter are easy, and then they get gradually harder. Now that Sentinel I was fighting earlier in the Colosseum, that was Eternal Doom Sentinel, and he gave me a code, so it could have been a super difficult Sentinel. There was like no order, since I was skirmishing a specific Sentinel. Oof, I got stunned there. Okay, right now it's not happening. I think I can beat this big boy. What's the name of this spell? Anesthesis Projection, yep. It slows you down, and the superior versions of it can even sap away your dash charges, or even stop your dash from regenerating.
To have your sound on.
Because there's an audio cue.
Yeah, exactly. An audio feedback.
Come on. Alright, buddy. So far, so good.
Yeah, Cian called it perfect.
Perfect circle. That's a pretty. That's fair enough. Also, when fighting your first boss, don't be too stingy with the healing salves or whatever, because you're gonna get 3 of them anyways. You get to use all 3 potions on the first boss, because right after defeating the first boss, you're gonna get the first Obsidian Gate. Okay. All right. That's also one of the changes we made recently, is that it used to be 3 Sentinels of Tier 1, then an Obsidian Gate, then 3 Sentinels of Tier 2, then an Obsidian Gate, then 3 Sentinels of Tier 3, then an Obsidian Gate. But, oh, that's some pretty neat loot, actually. I got Shard Gale. But that wasn't very fun for new players who had a hard time defeating even the first Sentinel. So we decided to make it 1 Sentinel and then an Obsidian Gate, 2 Sentinels and then an Obsidian Gate, etc. It's a lot smoother now. Let me grab the loot over here. We give so much loot for defeating your first. That's, look at how much loot I got.
Yeah.
I got a cape too.
Random, so.
Yeah, that's a pretty good loot. I'm gonna go back to the Citadel now. Try Sentinel again. Okay, everybody, put a Sentinel code in the chat. It's all a shot to zone plan to don't actually do the giveaway. We're gonna be doing the giveaway. We are going to, even if I end the stream right now, we'll do a giveaway. I promise. That's what I was saying yesterday. What were you saying yesterday? I got some fat loot. What's fun about the loot? Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay. So what's fun about the loot is that I can use it to make my own Sentinel. For those of you who are new, who are just somehow landed on this stream, that's the whole concept of Mirador, is that the Sentinels, the boss fights that you fight, are created by other players. Now, those are mine. They haven't gathered. And yeah, your Sentinels gather loot too. Mine haven't, because I literally just cleaned up and like I picked up all my loot before the stream started. I can create another Sentinel right now. You've got a bunch of helmets that you can use. I don't know. Do I want to make one right now? Yeah, I'll make one real quickly. I want to give him the crown. I don't use the crown very often, but I like it. It makes it look like almost like a god. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna do that. You can put decals or glyphs. Should we make it? Ooh, number 2. I like this one a lot. Fervor. All this is loot that I found by playing. Well, I would have found by playing, but since I'm a cheater, I cheated them in for myself so I could make videos. When I make videos for Mirador, like marketing videos, we need to have like stuff in order to be able to show the stuff out. So I spawned myself some items. I didn't earn all of those rightfully. I'm sorry, lads. Charge. Charge is a really cool glyph too. You don't have to put glyphs. You can put decals as well, which don't glow, but will work as well. Meteoric is a pretty cool one. I like it. No, I'm gonna use charge. Where is it? Charge right here. You can change the pauldrons as well. This is only cosmetic so far, by the way. I haven't even started diving into the actual Sentinel's behavior. What are some cool pauldrons? What are your favorite pauldrons, Evex? Ooh, I like Hydra. Let's do Hydra. They're so beefy. I'm gonna give the Sentinel.
With the helmet.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the Sentinel a mace. It does fit with the helmet.
Yeah. The helmet is big, so.
Light bugs here? Nah, maybe spikes. Or ooh, the curved spikes look so good. I love the curved spikes. I'll put the regular spikes though. Shoulders, ribbons? Oh no, those are glyphs. Do I want glyphs on the shoulders? It's kind of hard to see right now because it's super bright yellow on white. Yeah, I'll do the link. And then the boots. Ooh, the boots. I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna put. Do I have the phalanx? I do have the phalanx boots. I'm gonna put the blue phalanx boots. So everything that I'm making, everything that I'm putting in my Sentinel, anyone that fights against the Sentinel has a chance of finding that loot, which is what's kind of cool about it. When you defeat a Sentinel, the loot that you get is gonna be basically picked from the loot that the Sentinel is made out of. Oh, this is kind of cool. Yeah, let's make it like super extreme. I like it. Okay, weapons. Instead of the war axe, I'm gonna give it a mace, I think, because it's a big beefy Sentinel. And then the circuit. Oof, I have so many circuits. I'm gonna make a simple Sentinel, but it's gonna use a lot of high tier abilities. Yeah, I'm gonna use simplicity, superior simplicity. Let's go with nope. Yes, we're gonna go with Seeker Charge. We're gonna make a really annoying Sentinel. Seeker Charge. Oh, Focus Beam is nice. I'm not really planning this one very quickly because I want to play some of your Sentinels. Magnetic Impulse and Searing Wall. Ooh, Superior Searing Wall. Superior Searing Wall, definitely. There we go. Overview. This is my Sentinel. I'm gonna reroll the name until that's also a new feature. You can reroll the name now. Obscure Killer, Renegade Wayfarer, Wailing Renegade. Ooh. Honorful. Definitely the Honorful. There we go. Saving it, so now my Sentinel is saved. I can test it if I want. Actually, I'm gonna test it to see if it causes the lag. I have not been catching up to the chat. I'm sorry. I'll catch up to the chat in a second, I promise. How do the new parts enter loot circulation then if you need to defeat a Sentinel? Oh, well, when you every certain amount of Sentinels, you also reach an Obsidian Gate where there's a chest, and that chest gives you completely randomized loot as well. Also, everybody starts with a different set of items. Like there's a starter pack, and the starter pack is different for every person. So there's a pretty decent distribution of loot. Oh no! Okay, for a Sentinel that I whipped up in like 2 minutes, he's actually kind of annoying. Kind of good. It's the Seeker Charge that I can never dodge. The Electric Bugaloo Frisbee. Alright, Mr. Honorful. Now I'm kind of angry. I made you. You're mine. You're not gonna kill me. I created you. Ugh! Dang. Okay, the mace with the superior searing wall is kind of hard to fight against. Heal. No. Yes. Oh man, that was so close. I healed at the perfect frame. Oof. All right, come on. I can defeat it. I just want to kill it and make sure that I don't get the lag spike anymore. I think everybody closing down the stream in the studio actually fixed it.
Yeah. Looks like.
We need better internet in this. We really need better internet. Can somebody donate us better internet connections, please? Please don't kill me. No! I got him. I think I got him. I don't like the color of his pauldrons, but luckily, since I haven't deployed it yet, I can still change that. I like everything about the Sentinel so far, except the color of the pauldrons. His face kind of, the decal on his face makes me think of the, what's the name of the clown in Saw? In the Saw movie? Do you want to play a little game? I forgot the name. I'm gonna just change the material on the pauldrons. It looks, everything so far looks, okay, we'll see how it goes. I think I'll make it.
Let me know.
I will let you know. I'm gonna test out a, I'm gonna deploy this guy and then I'm gonna test out a code from somebody right away. It's been an honor to play with a fool like you.
You didn't change the color of the... Okay,
I did. Yeah, the children's. Okay, deploy. I am ready. Now you guys are going to be able to fight. You guys are going to be able to find this Sentinel in your own runs.
And probably in the next run you will do, it will appear.
Actually, yeah, the first person to go play right now is probably going to get this guy because he's like the newest one and that's how it usually works. And there's his code as well. I'll put it in the chat if you really want to try him out, although it's not really worth your time. I spent like 2 minutes making them. Okay, somebody give me a code. Sorry, I know I asked you guys like three times. Do you need to beat your Sentinel to validate it? No, but so far there hasn't been. We were careful to design things in a way that that you can't make it impossible to defeat Sentinel. It happened once recently and we fixed it. Like if there's a meta that pops up that makes it like impossible to defeat a Sentinel, we'll be on top of it pretty quickly. I got pretty close, but you know, the game sounds cooler by the second. Hey, it's available on Steam. It's really good priced. It's only $15 US, and it's got lots of small features. And hey, we're cool guys, you know, you can support us. Okay, TZ Sign, let's try this guy. Defeat this and teach me how to make a harder Sentinel. I am not the right person to teach you how to make a harder Sentinel. I'm not very good. Okay, I'm playing TZ Science Sentinel now. Let's take a look. Please let the bug not happen again. Fateful Demon by Cyan. Okay, it's a Mace Sentinel. Oh, what's it gonna do? Searing Wall, I expected that. Okay, mace me in the face. No, I don't like that. The combination of Searing Wall plus the Electric Bugaloo Circle is always a good combination. Anything that forces the player to move around a lot is definitely a good combination with Searing Wall most of the time. Okay, Molten Geyser. This is the advanced Molten Geyser too, I think. Am I right, Evax?
Yep.
Because there's 3 of them, I couldn't dash. You gotta be careful if you're gonna charge a strong attack. Ooh, okay, he's got Minesweep. If you're gonna charge a strong attack, you have to be careful and certain that you're not gonna need to. Oh my God, is that Superior Searing Wall? Now there's fire everywhere. No! I think it's got to do with the Sentinel codes. I'm starting to think it has to do with that.
No.
I'm starting to think. Hold on a sec. I know it shouldn't, but I'm starting to suspect maybe it's got to do with it. Because so far it's only happened when I've been playing with a Sentinel's code. It wasn't happening before I started the stream. Dang it. You think? Let's try against a regular run here. I'm going to try to defeat 1 or 2 or maybe 3 Sentinels here in a run. Try to see what happens. Sublime Regent by HK Boomer. You gave him a lot of fire. Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't play against him. We'll try to figure out what's going on. And if it's really the code Sentinel, then I'll just do a run instead. It'll be a run stream today, and next stream I'll play your codes. I'm sorry. I don't know why me streaming would make the Sentinel codes bug out like that. I'll also maybe try it from home at some point. Maybe next stream, maybe next Thursday, I'll stream from home instead. See if it happens. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be happening here. Okay, this guy's kind of tricky. I can't get close to him. Oof. Maybe we'll do some co-op instead. Oh, another cool thing. I don't know if you know this, but you can skirmish your sentinels in co-op now. So if you're testing out your own sentinel, if you join a party first... Uh-oh. If you join a party first, whoever is in your party will also skirmish your sentinel. No! This guy's kind of tricky. Okay, I'm gonna die. I have literally 1 HP left. No, please, 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 please. Oof. Did you guys notice that the music and the Sentinel's behaviors changed? That's because he switched to another threshold in his circuit. Because some circuits have different thresholds. So at like 50% HP, the Sentinel will change. Or at 25% HP, the Sentinel will change behaviors. And you can slot in different types of abilities. Come on, big boy. Ground spikes? Yep. I shouldn't call them ground spikes. That's not what they're called anymore. Remember, don't be too scared to spend your healing potions on the first Sentinel. Because you get an obsidian gate right after the first one. Dear developers of the game Castle Story, I would like to see the game Castle Story on the Android mobile platform. Will this game be on Android? Unfortunately, Castle Story will not be coming out on mobile. For those of you who don't know, Castle Story is our other game. I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Castle Story is the other game that we made before Mirador. It won't be coming out on mobile. It would be very, very tricky to port it to mobile, and there's legal reasons that we can't port it on mobile either. There's another game called Castle Story on mobile that's not made by us, and we signed agreements with them that our Castle Story wouldn't be on mobile. So unfortunately, it can't happen. So yeah, it seems to only be happening in Code Sentinels. You don't think so?
No.
You think it's a coincidence?
Yeah.
It's happened like 6 times in codes.
Yeah, but maybe the skirmish with the code, maybe it's more.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It would be. It would be. Yeah.
But
I'll try this Sentinel.
The internet connection.
Oh, that's my Sentinel. I got my own guy. I recognize them by their look now. I'm gonna reach the next obsidian gate, and then I'll try another code. Okay.
Let me know.
I will.
See you guys.
Bye, Evax. Thank you for the help. Oof. My Sentinels are usually not very good because I spend a lot more time making them look cool than making them strong. Still, he's not too bad, I don't think. Uh-oh. What are you gonna do? I forgot what his behavior was. Oh no, I dashed through the fire. What a dingus. Okay. You know what? It's actually not even that bad. Ow. To heal up. Come on. Come on. Like I said, I'm gonna try to reach the second obsidian gate, which is gonna be the Sentinel after this one. Is gonna lead to the obsidian gate, and then if it doesn't lag, if I don't get the bug, I will. Ow! I'm out of shield. My shield is broken. My shield is broken. No! I'll try out another code. If it lags again, then I'll be pretty confident it's there's something wrong with the internet here, causing Sentinels with codes to lag. But we'll fix it, and I'll come back next week. And we'll do the stream next week instead. I'll still do the giveaway today. Don't be scared. No! No! Oh my god, how did I survive that? Uh-oh, mine. Come on, big boy. Come on, I need to save some healing potions. Okay, good. I'll have 2 healing potions. Whew. So you're able to play co-op with one person. Yes, you can. Will I ever be able to play with more people at the same time? Maybe. Maybe. I can't get into that now. Hello, Sir Vac. How's it going? You can block, but it breaks your shield. Yeah, you can block. You can block the lance, but it will consume all 5 charges. Hello, Professor Joxes. It's another biome. Windblown Steppes. Ooh. Who's this guy? The Forsaken Ravager by Cyan. Cyan, you didn't even need to give me your code. See you, Dragon Killer. Thank you for dropping by. Is he gonna bamboozle me, Cyan? He's a mace boy. Okay. I like the primal defender. No, sorry, the primal armor piece. I like the color scheme too, by the way. That light silver, light beige. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is so annoying. Oh no, not more. No! Why would you do that, Sign? How am I supposed to get to him? My boomerang is all the way over there too. Oh my god, he's mean. That is a mean sentinel. Oh my god, that is a mean sentinel, dude. Oh jeez. It's okay, now that I know what... Oh, now that I know what you do, I'm not scared anymore. I'm not afraid of what I can see. Okay, I'm kind of... Oh my god! And the circle is all weirded out too in the ground. Oh, jeez. Come on. Come on, buddy. No, stop! I can't dash! No! Cyan, why would you do this? I think he's gonna... Oh my god. I think he's gonna switch. Okay, that's enough. That's enough! Cyan, why would you do this? That's so mean. I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like you, Forsaken Ravager. You're mean. Oh my god, is he gonna do that the whole fight? That's so evil. It's okay, I got him though. I think I got him. It's the Obsidian Gate after this. Oh, okay, he's changing behavior. Ow. Changing behavior now. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Ow. Ow. I still have one healing potion. I gotta be smart about it. That is such a good combo, dude. That is such a good combo. Searing Wall plus... Whew, plus the teleport out that does damage. Dang, dude. Yet die. Bark at him. Yeah. Raise your dog leg and pee on him. Okay. Hey, I got your ribbons though and aperture. Whew. Can I play Mirador with my friend on one computer? No, it's online. The co-op is online. I didn't get any lag. I'm gonna reach the Obsidian Gate now. And at the Obsidian Gate, you get to decide all the loot that you found so far. You see, this is the loot that I have so far. If I die... Oh, and you get even more loot. Ooh, I got a blaster. Nice. Ooh, I got advanced searing wall. If you die, you will lose some of this loot. You lose a certain amount of your loot if you die. Or if you leave, you know, early. But when you're at the Obsidian Gate, you can use the recall stone here to safely return to the Citadel and keep all of the loot. Now, why wouldn't you always do that, might you ask? Because... the farther away you go, the farther the more sentinels you defeat, the harder the sentinels get, but also the better the loot you get, and the loot that you find in the chests gets better and better. So you can't hope to get good superior tier loot if you always just, you know, if you always just get too scared and just sort of chicken out and head back to the Citadel early. But I'm gonna do that now because I want to test out if the codes bug for me again. Jessica JSK, so what's the deal with this game now? Last time I tuned in, you guys stopped working on Castlery. We didn't stop. Well, we stopped working on Castlery because we finished Castlery. Castlery is complete, and Mirador has released on Steam now. It shipped earlier this month. No, it shipped about 1 month ago, and it is available for purchase on Steam if you'd like to. I was gonna dismantle that one, but after that, I'm not gonna. That was hilarious. I haven't laughed like that in a while. He was kind of a meanie. So yeah, see, I keep. I should have kept all my loot, but it seems like I've lost the night frame? Question mark? Did I lose the night frame? Or is it just a visual glitch? No, I didn't lose it. Okay, I don't know why it's red. Usually when it's red, it means you lost it. I guess it glitched out here, but it shouldn't be red. I didn't lose it. Well, but that doesn't answer my question. I know it's for sale. What is your question? What's the dealio with this game now? It's released. It's on Steam. It's complete. It's shipped. We shipped it. You can play it now. I don't understand what your question is. I'm sorry. You made my dog bark. Yeah, you can bark. You can. Oh, your dog in real life. The game has been out for a month. Launch was rough, but right now it's pretty good. That's a common visual glitch. I wasn't aware that there was that glitch. You guys should let us know when there's these bugs. That's a relief. I would really like to see maybe some raid bosses, which you would play with like 6 people at the same time. That would be pretty cool. What's the deal on the game giveaway? I am giving out 2 copies of this game of Mirador in not very long. The stream is actually nearing completion. It's unfortunate that the codes are bugging out here in the studio. I'm not sure why. Somebody give me another code, a different code that I haven't tried so far. I want to see if it glitches out again. Someone hit me with one of your Sentinel codes. What are codes? User made. Yeah, every Sentinel that you saw me fight against is made by a player. Like every Sentinel that I've fought so far, those boss fights, those were all player made. That is the whole concept of Mirador, is that you create your own boss fights, and your boss fights are what populates the runs that players play. See, those are the bosses that I've played, that I've made and deployed so far. And yeah, Sentinel codes, it's kind of like Super Mario Maker. You can, like in Super Mario Maker, you make a level and you give the code for your friends to play. In Mirador, you make a Sentinel, a boss fight, and you give the code for players to play. But right now, here in the studio, specifically today, right now, as I start the stream, for some reason, I'm getting freezes. It was not, that was not happening a second ago. That was not happening earlier. Like I spent all week long working on a YouTube video for Mirador, which is coming out next week, by the way, or maybe even this weekend. And I didn't get any issues whatsoever. And now I test it on stream and it happens. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to test out your code, J Rockefeller. What happens if your Sentinel is too easy and gets beaten all the time? You still get some loot, but nothing. Its ranking will go down though, so it'll be one of the lower tiered Sentinels. Okay, let's check it out. The Grievous Crusher by Oathkeeper. Is that you? Rockefeller, are you Oathkeeper? Yikes. I really like the look of your Sentinel, by the way. I like that purple and dark teal. That looks really, really cool. It has a lot of glyphs. Your Sentinel has a lot of glyphs. They're kind of hard to read because there's so many. Oh, you have the anode pauldrons too. I'm gonna try to only use 1 potion per Sentinel, okay? Whenever I play against your Sentinel, it's gonna be 1 potion only. Because in skirmish you have 3 potions, so it makes it a little easy. Oh, that is a good combo right there. That is a really good combo, dude. That was a really, really good combo. The slowing circle, then the running towards me to do the ground spikes, and then teleporting out with the damage blast. I forget the name of the... it happened again. Damn. I really think it has to do with codes. I really think it has... Damn. That's really not cool. I'm not sure why it could be doing that. I'm trying to... Because it's only happening to Sentinels that I play in code. And it's only happening here in the studio. It's not happening to you guys. And I'm playing a Steam build. The ranking goes down and it doesn't get matched up against many players. No, it gets matched up against as many players as anything else. I really think it's got to do with the codes. I really think so. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Instead... We'll do the code stream next stream. I'm sorry that it wouldn't work out right now. I honestly have no idea what's going on. I don't know if it's because I'm streaming. When I end the stream today, I'll give it a test. But I will play some Sentinels in a regular run. Actually, I'm gonna go be the crow because I feel like cawing instead of borking. Hey, what? Okay. And then we'll do the giveaway. Okay. About halfway through the run, we'll do the giveaway. Are you 100%? It's on. Yeah, recognizable. Yeah, I'm literally playing just a regular old build. You know what I could do? Let me try one last thing. I really doubt it's gonna fix it. I really, really doubt it's gonna. There's like the chances of it fixing it are like 1%, but I'm gonna give it a try anyways. I'm gonna try on my personal non-work account. So I'm gonna be like a real actual player. Like I'm gonna my because I bought the game on my own personal account, so I'm gonna try it on that. A music edit for your Sentinel could be an interesting option. Addition. That would be really dope. BL Height. Actually, don't tell anyone I told you guys this, but we are going to be releasing some new songs for the Sentinel fights very soon, and they sound sexy. And different tier Sentinels are gonna have different songs. The music is procedural. Yeah, a lot of the music in Mirador is procedural, which means that the music changes depending on what's happening. Like when the Sentinel changes from one threshold to the other, the music changes. As you're creating a Sentinel, as you slot more pieces onto the Sentinel, the music also evolves with that. Let me just really quickly... Hey, thank you for whatever that was. I think someone followed. Oh, thank you for following, Deathrick, for subscribing on YouTube. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube or whatever, please do so. All right, so I changed my my Steam name real quick here so you guys don't stalk me. I don't want to be stalkered. Please don't stalker me. Plux no stalkerinos. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I have never killed any Sentinel. Well, next time you kill one, you're going to get a reward chest because that's how it is now. After your very first Sentinel, you get an obsidian gate, so you're rewarded. Also, I think I say this every time I stream. I'm sorry, please forgive me. But if you bought Mirador and you played it and you've enjoyed it and you want to help us out, please leave a review on Steam. Plugs, it helps a lot. I know I say this every time. I'm gonna eventually stop nagging you with it. But yeah, please leave a review. It would help a lot. All right, here we go. And it didn't work. Why? Why you no work? OBI. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. So right now I am on my own account. I have like nothing special. Let me see my inventory real quick. Yep. I've just got regular amounts of loot as you guys do. I have a lot of glyphs though. I think I might have given myself the YouTuber DLC. I'm such a cheater. Just to have some cosmetics. Let's give it a try. Someone hit me with a code. Ye Master 2K19. How big is the game? I might buy it. What do you mean how big? The game is only $15 US. Is there a plan to be able to fight with different weapons other than the sword? Sit tight, not Daxus. We're working on something right now, but I can't promise, unfortunately. Is that one that I haven't tried yet? I want to try a different one, J-Rock, just to make, like, just give me a code from another Sentinel. Oh, storage space isn't big. I think it's about 4 gigabytes-ish. Let me see, actually. I can tell you right away. It's not super big. Wow, I only have 28 gigabytes left on the hard drive on this computer. We're going to have to delete some games. Okay. I've got too many games installed. Oh, not even. It's 1 gigabyte. All right. I've got one from Cyan. Apparently, this is a really difficult Sentinel. Let's see if it lags. I think it's going to. My suspicion is that it's going to lag, even if... I don't have Fortnite installed, no. I have Apex Legends, though. Apex Legends is pretty dope. I have No Man's Sky, too. I've been playing No Man's Sky on my lunch break. Oh, this is a Golden Sentinel with a saber, the Glorious Avenger. Haven't I already played against this guy? And I said I hated him? Wasn't that the guy I met in the run like a second ago? That's the guy I met in a run! And wait, is it? I think it is. Did you make me play against... Cyan? Oh, it's not? Did you get 2 Sentinels called Avengers? Oof! He just crash-quaked me, dude. I was not expecting that. No. No, I need a heal. I need a heal. Okay, I only get 1 potion per Sentinel. That's my rule. And I already used up my potion on this guy. Ah! I can't dash. Is that a superior anesthetic projection? I think it is. Okay, how long is that electric boogaloo circle gonna stay there? Oh boy. Oh boy. Advanced not ground spikes. I forgot the real name of the spell. I still call the spells by their old names before we released the game, like ground spikes, crash quake, electric boogaloo. It wasn't actually called electric boogaloo. That's just what I call it. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna go ahead and cheat and use one more potion on your guy, Cyan. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna just let myself use as many potions as I want, but that'll dictate how hard or easy your Sentinel was for me to beat. How many potions I needed to use. You know what? It's not lagging. Did you notice? That is weird. If it's only developer accounts that lag, what the heck? Like, why? I don't want to work here anymore if developer accounts lag. I want to play Mirador without lag. Please fire me. No, please don't actually fire me. Oh my god, I lost! I lost! Wow. Yeah, he's a tricky boy. He's a tricky boy. It's not even a dev build, not Daxus. I'm not even on my developer account right now. I'm playing on Yeet Master 2K19. Wow. Okay, someone give me another code. Let's do it. Fire. No, please don't fire. Yo, I gotta tell Evax. Yo, hold on. Yo, Evax, big WTF. I switched to my personal Steam account and it fixes the issue. Confused emoji. Alright, let me try V0225s. Yo, dog, let me skirmish this guy. Obedient Ranger. Oh, 225. Okay, I played against one of your Sentinels earlier in a run. Like, I just randomly found it. I really like this guy. Oof! I love that sound. I love the mine sound too. Evax.
Yes.
I was like, maybe it's not in the studio. Maybe what really happens is our developer accounts. And I was like, that's not... It can't be. But see, I changed. I went on Yeet Master 2K19 and it's not happening anymore. And that's not a developer account. Maybe it's got to do with something in your inventory? No, right?
No.
I'm telling you, I've got it on stream. I have witnesses. They're watching.
Are you sure, guys?
I swear to God.
I'm sure he's lying.
But hold on. In the last Sentinel, I died early, so maybe it just didn't have enough time to do the bug. Or maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe somebody was downloading like something weird in the studio and they just stopped or whatever.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's 10 hours version or something. I don't know. Because right now it's not happening. Ooh, that mine exploded. Do the mines explode after a while? Okay. And if you're close to them, they hurt? Oh. I don't know.
Suppose.
Yeah?
Not sure.
God dang it, Obedient Ranger. I still haven't used a potion on him though, 225. So far, he's not difficult, but he's fun to play. He's really fun. You're not using like any cheesy tactics or whatever. I like that. Okay, I think he just switched to another. Oh yeah, new threshold now. Uh-oh. Yikes. Oh, okay. Is he about to stop being fun? Yeah, I think he's not fun anymore. Superior Molten Geyser right here.
I love that spell.
I hate that spell. Uh-oh. Oh, Shard Gale. Good dog. Good dog. Yeah, see, it's not happening anymore. I swear to God, the only thing I changed was changing... I went on my personal account. Okay, I needed a healing potion. You think? Why? How? Okay, things are getting a little intense. Yes!
Good job.
I got you, 225! No, that was fun, though. It was pretty fun. Oh, it still says your Sentinel. It still says your Sentinel. I should have said the Sentinel.
It's yours.
No, it's not.
It's yours now.
Oh, it's mine now, 225. Thank you. Maybe we should do that. If you defeat someone's Sentinel, you steal it. It's your Sentinel now. That was cool. Okay, so I guess I'm not allowed to play on my developer account. So the game doesn't want me to have like cheats. Okay, well, I don't know.
Anyway,
So far
going
so
like that.
yeah, so far so good.
We will
Okay.
check this out.
Anyone has a sentinel for me? They want me to check out? I won't switch back now. No, we'll test this like off stream. You master 2K. Okay. Jay Rockefeller wants me to try out his sentinel. Let's do it. Which one is that again? I've got a popcorn kernel stuck in my tooth. Ooh. Oh, the Grievous Crusher. I really like that color scheme. Ugh. Did you know that the mace does more damage if it hits you in the center? Like, it has AoE, but the AoE dithers off farther away from the impact zone. Same with the shields. It'll consume less shields if it hits you not in the center. I've got a popcorn kernel stuck in my tooth since like 3 days ago. I regret eating popcorns. I did not need to eat popcorns that night. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, that hurts so bad. One potion already, not even at half health. Okay, focus, Chatron. Let's go. Let's go. We're doing this. Let's go. You gotta show the Twitch and the YouTube boys that you're good at video games. Or else they won't pick you at gym class anymore. No, you're not getting me, sir. Come on. Oh no! Alright. Yikes. He's half HP. Oh, it happened again. It happened again. Oh my god, it happened really bad. Never mind, it happened again. Maybe it's certain sentinels. Maybe it's certain sentinels. Huh. Huh. On va regarder le playback de la stream et voir. Je pense que c'était toujours les mêmes sentinels qui causaient ça. I think maybe it's the sentinel. So what's the sentinel I played like a second ago that didn't lag? It was 025s. Let me try that one. 025, 025, 025. Give me your code. There it is. The Obedient Ranger. DuckTales. Da, 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 da. Sorry. All right, here we go. I'm going to try this guy out. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to try like not to kill him too quickly. And then we'll do the giveaway. Oof. Bad boy. I knew you were doing that. Teleporting away from me to blast me with your gun. Oh, come on. Force Lance. Easy peasy. I shouldn't dash when I want to block the blaster, because sometimes some of the bullets miss. So, well, this time none of the bullets missed. No! No! Alright, big boy. Alright, you've got me. You've got me flustered now. You've rustled my Jimmy Jammers. Nope, not this time. I've learned my lesson. Let me hit you! Yikes. Big laser beams. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oof. Oh no, is that Superior Molten Geyser? It is. It is. Am I gonna be able to make it with only one potion? Nope, I'm gonna die. I need to heal. Ah, yikes. He's got 1 bar left. Come on. No, more fire! When a Sentinel hits you with that superior molten geyser, a trick is to try to keep them concentrated. Like try to just run around in a circle so all the fire is in the same space, so it doesn't make it too difficult for you. I didn't get it on this guy. I think it has to do with the Sentinel. This sounds around point. Thank you. Vibe Avenue and Akash the Car. Vibe Avenue has worked on the music. Akash the Car made the sound engineering. I'm just telling Evax our QA. Ouais, ça arrive pas avec ce gars-là. But the other ones it happened to. So I don't know. What do you like more, Calstory or Mirador? Man, two completely different games. I can't even compare them. Anybody has a different Sentinel from me? Somebody that hasn't given me one yet? I think it's either the Sentinels or some of the attacks. But it doesn't happen outside of the studio here, which is so weird. Like, it doesn't happen at home. Hi, Earthfiend. You've got one for me? Okay, let me try that. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. How many viewers do we have on Twitch and on YouTube? I haven't been keeping the thing open. You speak French? Yeah, we're from Quebec. Ooh, the Demon Heretic. I like the name. It matches the look. All right, Demon Heretic. Let us smite you for dishonoring the gods. I'm going to translate that in dog real quick. Hold on. See, there we go. That's how you say, let's smite you for dishonoring the dog gods. I'm going to get myself killed for goofing around with the barks. Alright, that's enough. That's enough. You tell him, boy. Yeah! We should make barking cause damage, like a tiny little bit of damage, and then somebody would do a complete run just with barks. Oof, I'm gonna take some damage from that, yep. I was way too close, I couldn't dash. Why couldn't I dash? Yikes! Okay, let's heal up. That's enough gambling. Okay. Oh, come on. No! I'm risking too much with the strong attacks. Oof. I'm gonna need a second potion, I think, for your guy. Earthfiend, your guy is making me eat them potions up, man. Making me eat them potions up, man. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Come on. Come on, I got this. Okay. Yes! Woo! I got you, Earthfiend. I've destroyed your creations. Hello, Norn ARG. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I promise you guys a giveaway. I'm gonna give 2 people a Steam key to Mirador. If you already own the game, fine. Just give it to someone else. Maybe gift it to someone. Please don't resell it on a gray market site. Those are killing the indie industry. Please don't do that. G2A bad. Kingwin bad. Please. Yeah. And if you don't own the game, then, well, now you own it. And maybe you'll win. And maybe you can play and stuff. This one didn't lag either. Okay. This is how we're going to do this. In order to enter the giveaway, you must be on our Discord. In order to join the Discord, go to discord.gg/Mirador. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Discord.gg/Mirador. Discord.gg/Mirador. Okay. And in Discord.gg/Mirador, you shall find a channel. Well, not yet. Hold on. Why is the music so loud? You shall find a channel called Cold. I thought I had a channel in here. I guess I don't. Let me make one. I'm going to make a channel. It's going to be the very first one at the top, okay? It's going to be called Stream Giveaway. Okay? You currently cannot post in it yet because I said so. Because I will tell you when you can post in it. Okay? Don't post in it yet. Do not post in it yet, okay? Even if you see the channel, don't post in it. Wait, do you see the channel? What did I do? Oh, no, I moved Sentinel closer. What did I do? Hold on. Whoops. Okay, there it is. Stream giveaway is going to be the very first channel under billboards. Very first channel. Right, even above welcome, okay? You're going to be able to see it in a second, but don't type anything in it. Not yet. Wait. Don't type in it. If you type something in it, there's a cooldown and you're gonna lose. You're not gonna have a chance to win. Do not type in it, even if you see it. I know you see the channel. Don't type in it. Okay? Don't type in it. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Everybody join the Discord right now. Discord.gg/Mirador. 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 Hi, Joa. No, we've been working on Mirador now, our new game. Castle Story is pretty much complete, man. It's got everything we said it would have. And it was time, after like 6 years of working on Castle Story, it was time to move on to a new game. You know what I mean? Okay. So in the stream giveaway channel, when I say go, not yet, wait. When I say go, you're going to type Mirador, okay? When I say go, only once. Only type Mirador once, okay? And then we're going to pick a random winner. Okay? Are you ready? Is everybody ready? Oh, hold on. Let me check the server permissions real quick. Moderation? No. I can't. Why can't I? Is it under moderation? I don't remember. Can everybody, even new people, type? Under the stream giveaway channel. No caps. No caps. Just, it doesn't matter. You can even type ketchup if you want. It doesn't matter. As long as you type one word. You don't have to type Mirador. Are you ready? Yes? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go! Twitch delay. Type Mirador in stream dash giveaway. Whoa, oh my God, how many people are here? Every time I expect there's only like 5 people, but no, there's like a billion people in here. Yikes. Last chance before I lock it. Hurry up. I'm gonna lock it in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, no count. It doesn't matter. Just type something. Just type one message. Gotta go. Thanks for stream. I'll buy to support. Thank you so much, man. That's really, really appreciated. Okay. Okay, that's enough entries. Wow. That is a lot more than I expected. So this is what we're gonna do. Hold on. Let me go here real quick. Set. Everyone can't post reactions. No reactions. That way I don't get two. It'll be easier that way. I can remove all reactions. Yes. Okay. Wow, that is more than I thought there would be. Let me count them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 2, 3, 4, 5, 45, right? 45. I'm pretty sure 45. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go on random.org right there. It's already zoomed in and everything. And we're going to go here and we're going to generate a random number between 1 and 45. And whoever gets that number is going to win the first copy. Are you sure there's no duplicates? There was a cooldown of 15 minutes, so you couldn't have typed more than once in chat. Okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gabriel 0070. My guy, you win yourself a copy. Oh, he's in the Cal Story Discord too. Gabriel 007, you there. You win yourself a free key. You win a key. I'll send it to you right after I end the stream. Oof, big private conversation. Did we talk about anything incriminating? No. I think I was helping you out with fixing your game or something. Damn, I'm so nice, Chateau Jaune. Okay. I'm going to pick another winner. Are you ready? I'm going to pick another winner right now. Right now, I'm just going to roll another person. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Denshell, you win yourself a key. Congratulations, Denshell and Gabriel 0070. You guys win yourself a free Steam key of Mirador. If you already own the game, give it to a friend, play co-op, have fun. Is it still going to be another giveaway? Maybe next stream. Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Yes. Probably. We'll see. Sit tight. Also, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel because there's a video coming out and I put a lot of effort in this video, so please go watch it and thumbs it up. YouTube.com/SirPodStudio. If you didn't win Mirador and you really want to play Mirador right now, it's only $15 on Steam. You can head over to Steam and check it out if you'd like to support us. If you already bought Mirador on Steam, please leave a review and tell your friends about Mirador. Tell your friends that it's a cool game and to buy it so you can play together and help us support SirPod Studio and support the game and whatnot. We're pretty chill. And besides that, I wish all of you a wonderful end of your week, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend as well. Thank you so much for being part of today's stream, and I will see all of you most likely next week. Whenever we stream, we tend to announce it on social media, so Twitter, Facebook, @SirPod Studio, and on Discord, discord.gg/Mirador. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful end of your day. Bye-bye, everyone.